Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of my old friends and many, many new friends that are coming in. You are here at the Global Matrix Readers Theater family, and we are blessed to have so many new people who are joining us to find out what it is and who it is and what we're all about. And we discuss and we learn about each other, and we do it in English, and we do it through literature. And the literature that we use is put into a script. So I'm going to share with you my screen so you have an opportunity to see what I'm talking about. All right. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Good, good. So this is one of our scripts. And as we get our newsletters together, those who are members get the scripts ahead of time so that you get to look at something that we do that sort of gives you an idea what the story is about and asks different kind of questions and gives you different ideas that you can do before you even come into the group to do reading with us. Okay, so, and this is a story about Rumpelstiltskin. And it's kind of a typical story that is told from person to person to person and then overheard by someone else who actually starts to write it down. And it's known here in America in the Grimm Brothers stories of household tales. But one of the questions I had asked was, are there more stories of the Rumpelstiltskin in other countries? And actually, I found out that it was in Germany that this particular one was brought into, but that there are other names for Rumpelstiltskin in the other countries and stories of them. Grace, in Cameroon, was Rumpelstiltskin a story?
Sorry, we don't know about this.
Okay, so in Cameroon, no. All right, what about in Nepal? Those of you who are from Nepal, do you know of the story of Rumpelstiltskin?
No.
Okay.
No,
In
ma'am,
fact,
till not.
no? Okay, so maybe this
Till
is a
now, not.
whole new story. Oh, that's very good. One of the things that I thought was kind of cool with Rumpelstiltskin was the fact that in the story, there's spinning done. Do you know what it is to spin something? To take a yarn and spin it, or a wool? Do you know what that means?
Yes, I do.
Yes, I've heard about spinning.
Yes. So yes, when you spin something and then you weave it into cloth. Okay. Well, in this instance, this particular girl could spin straw into gold. Spin straw into gold. Wouldn't that be nice? I think we'd all like to have that talent. But because of the spinning and the weaving, I actually went and looked up about how you could actually make your own homemade weaving loom. And it's hot linked to a site that allows you to do that. Or and to make your own looms, or to make weavings of these kinds of things with cardboards and sticks. So in our script, let's see if it will work when I'm on site. It will actually click on that and it will bring you up to a place that you can explore and learn how to make different projects and different things. So it allows our script to be interactive and for you to be able to use it before you even read the play. I'm trying to, I might have to make somebody else a host here because I'm having a problem being able to let everybody in and out. I'm going to stop sharing for a minute. And Grace, can I make you host so that you can let people in and out? Grace?
Yes, it's okay.
Okay, I just have to find you now. There you are. Now, where are you in this long, long list of people? My goodness gracious, there you are. All right. Oops, 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 oops.
Look at Neba.
Yeah, I can see it. I just was going to change your name. Hold on a second. Excuse us for this. We didn't expect to have so many great people here. I'm going to make her host so that she can now let people in and we can go on with our reading. So I'm going to go back to sharing our screen. Okay, so Rumpelstiltskin. It was a story adapted by Richard Shallow and then put into the MRT format by myself. And there are 8 parts. And because there are so many people here, I'm actually going to just go down the list of what I see and assign them. And if you don't want to do it, you need to say so right away for me, please. Okay? So, Nakshi, will you be the daughter?
Yeah, sure.
And Deepsun, can you be the king?
No.
Deepsun,
Yes, yeah.
can you be king?
Okay.
Okay. Jasminia, can you be narrator 1?
Narrator one.
Yeah. Narrator 1?
It's okay. It's not problem. Okay.
Okay. Divya, can you be narrator 2?
Yes. Yes.
Yotsana? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing you right. And cute little boy sitting there like this son is. Yeah, and like that. Can you be the messenger?
What I have to do?
Okay. You see where it says messenger here?
Yes.
Okay. So when you see that down here in the script, you would read that part. It's just one part down at the bottom here. I'll show you.
Okay.
You think you can do
Okay.
that? Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, now I have to find you again because I've lost you. Duraba? Is that right?
It's okay. Hello, ma'am.
Is that right? Did I pronounce it right? Duraba?
Okay. Ruba.
Can you be a narrator 3?
Okay, ma'am. Sure.
Okay, now, oh, I have no idea what this man's name is because it is definitely not written in English. But he's got a white shirt on with a beautiful background and he's changing his background. And what is his name?
My name is Chavi Siris from Nepal.
Your name is?
Chavi Siris from Nepal.
Tabith. Okay, Tabith.
Chavi Siris. Yes.
Chavi. Are you ready? Are you ready to be Rumpelstiltskin?
Yes, ma'am, I'm ready.
Okay. Now, this is going to be, I know there's going to be a lot of people who are listening as well, because there's only 8 parts, and I have no idea now how many people are on here. But let me again repeat. If you're new, make sure you've given me your name and your email address and contact information in the chat box. So, now, you all have your parts, you're all color-coded, and so we'll begin to read the story of Rumpelstiltskin. And Jess, that would be you. And you make sure
Yes.
that you're speaking up loudly when you read.
Can I start now?
Yes, thank you.
You hear me well?
Very well.
Okay. Once there was a miller who was a poor, but who had a beautiful daughter. Now it happened that he had to go and speak to the king. And in order to make himself appear important, he said to the king,
Oh, I forgot to do Miller. I have a daughter who can spin straw into gold.
Oh, that is an art which pleases me well. If your daughter is and clever, as you say, bring her tomorrow to my palace, and I will put her to the test.
And when the girl was brought to the king, he took her into a room which was quite full of straw, gave her a spinning wheel and a reel, and said,
Now, set to work, and if by tomorrow morning early you have not spun this straw into gold during the night, you must die.
Thereupon the king himself locked up the room and left young girl in it alone. So there sat the poor miller's daughter, and for the life of her she could not tell what to do. She had no idea how straw could be spun into gold, and she grew more and more frightened until at last she began to weep. But all at once the door opened, and in came a little man who said,
Evis? Phobos, you need to unmute. You're Rumpelstiltskin.
ध्रुव सर मेरो पालो हो र
Yes, yes.
Narrator one.
Good evening.
Yes, Sri sir. Sri
Yes.
sir. Yeah, please.
Good evening, Mistress Miller. Why are you crying so?
Alas,
answered the girl,
I have to spin straw into gold, and I do not know how to do it.
Phobos, this is yours, Rumpelstiltskin, in orange. Do you see
Sri
here?
sir.
ध्रुव सर मेरो पालो हो र
This is your part here.
Yes, sir. Yes.
What will you give me if I do it for you?
asked the odd little man.
My necklace.
Said the girl. The little man took the necklace, seated himself in front of the wheel, and whir, 3 turns, and the reel was full. Then he put another on, and whir, 3 times round, and the second was full too. And so it went on until the morning, and when all the straw was spun, and all the reels were full of gold.
by daybreak the king was already there, and when he saw the gold, he was really astonished and delighted, but his heart became only more greedy. He had a miller's daughter taken into another room full of straw, which was much larger, and commanded her to spin that also in one night if she valued her life. The girl knew not how to help herself and was crying when the door opened again and the little man appeared and said,
What you will give me if I spend that straw into gold for you?
The ring on my finger.
Answered the girl. The little man took the ring, again began to turn the wheel, and by morning had spun all the straw into glittering gold. The king rejoiced beyond measure at the sight, but still he had not gold enough, and he had the miller's daughter taken into a still larger room full of straw, and said,
Night
You spin this too in the course of this night, but if you succeed, you shall be my wife. Even if she be Miller's daughter.
thought the king.
The king, I
could not find a richer wife in the whole world.
when the girl was alone, the little man came again for the third time and said,
What will you give me if I spend the straw for you this time also?
I have nothing left that I could give.
Answered the girl.
Then promise me, if you should become a queen, to give me your firstborn child.
Who knows whether that will ever happen?
Thought the miller's daughter, and not knowing how else to help herself in this terrible situation, she promised the little man what he wanted, and for that he once more spun the straw into gold. And when the king came in the morning and found all as he had wished, he took her in marriage, and the pretty miller's daughter became a queen.
a year after, she brought a beautiful child into the world, and she never gave a thought to the little man. But suddenly, one day, he appeared in her room and said,
Now give me what you promised.
The queen was horror-struck and offered the odd little man all the riches of the kingdom if he could leave her the child. But the little man said,
No, sometime a life is dearer to me than all the treasure in the world.
Then the queen began to lament and cry, so that the little man pitied her.
I will give you 3 days' time.
Said he.
And if by that time you find out my name, then shall you keep your child?
So the queen thought the whole night of all the names that she had ever heard, and she sent a messenger over the country to inquire far and wide for any other names that there might be. When the little man came the next day, she began with Caspar, Melchor, Balthazar, and Zeus, and said all the names she knew one after another. But to every one the odd little man said,
That is not my name.
On the second day, she had inquiries made in the neighborhood as to the names of the people there, and she repeated to the little man the most uncommon and curious.
perhaps your name is Short Ribs, or Sheepshanks, or Lace Leg, or Bandy Bottom?
But he always answered,
That's not my name.
On the third day, the messenger came back again and said,
I haven't been able to find a single new name, but as I came to a high mountain at the end of the forest, where the fox and the hare bid each other good night, there I saw a little house, and before the house a fire was burning, and round about the fire quite a ridiculous little man was jumping. He hopped upon one leg and shouted,
Today I bake, tomorrow blue, the next I will have the young queen child. Ha! Glad I am I that no one knew that Rampilsi I am styled.
You may imagine how glad the queen was when she heard the name, and when soon afterwards the little man came in and asked,
Now, Mistress Queen, what is my name?
At first, she said,
Is your name Conrad?
No,
He replied gravely.
Is your name Harry?
no,
Perhaps your name is Rumpelstiltskin.
the devil has told you that. The devil has told you that.
cried the little man, and in his anger he plunged his right foot so deep into the earth that his whole leg bent in. And that put him in such a rage that he stomped his left foot so hard that a hole opened up in the earth, into which he fell, and he was never seen again.
That was amazing. Oh my gosh. You know, we had almost all new people reading, only one or two who have been here before that knew what to do. And you guys did an awesome job, and you started to help each other through. And my Rumpelstiltskin, you may not have figured out what to read to begin with, but when you got the hang of it, you really got into this whole feel of Rumpelstiltskin. That was really cool. And my little messenger who was saying, what do I have to do? And I don't know if I can do it.
It's not muted. Unmute, please.
Tracy, ma'am,
Tracy, you
you
are
have muted
muted.
yourself.
Tracy, you are on mute.
Oh my goodness, I did all of that on mute. I'm sorry. Anyhow, I was just saying this was absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome, because I was looking at most all of you were new readers. And you all ended up figuring out what to do and helping each other. And my little messenger, who I was afraid, he just wasn't sure about wanting to read, was absolutely fabulous. My Rumpelstiltskin, who didn't understand he was reading red first, really did a great job when he figured it all out. So it was just absolutely wonderful. I want to find out, what did you all think about it? And how did you feel, whether you were just listening to the whole thing and following it or reading it? What was the experience like for you? And I don't know where to start because there's so many of you, but Jasminia, why don't you start?
Yes, of course. First of all, again, greetings to all of you friends, because this is experience new to me. I'm working, just like I said, with small children from 3 till 6 years old in kindergarten. Rumpelstiltskin is very nice story, and I often read to them because the small children wants to hear the stories. So today's experience was wonderful for me, and really nice job today.
Thank you, thank you. And you know, we can adapt different theaters and stuff to the different children, even if it's, you know, through pictures or whatever. We can, the interaction between the children and kids and adults, because we have some young and some old, that however each family is made up is unique and always an exciting group of people. Who else would like to say something? Yostana,
Yes,
did you want to say something? You did a very good job reading that, Messenger.
and thank you very much. That was really good. Um, nothing to say.
Okay, okay.
All good. All right.
All right, all right. But
Yeah.
now that you got a chance to see what you did, were you more comfortable with it as you watched?
Yes.
Okay, okay, good. And you did very well. Who else would like
Thank
to
you.
say something? What about my Rumpelstiltskin there, who was a little lost to begin with, but really came in at the end? Tobis?
Happy, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I'm very happy to participate in this program, and this programs means especially what I feel. I feel very enjoyment, and I feel a little bit new experience to be a part of this program. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Did you have fun?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely, I do have a fun.
Good, good.
Thank you, ma'am.
You did a very nice job, and you know, I don't know if anybody else can see that within, people often ask, how do you make assessments when you are using the Reader's Theater academically in families? How do you use assessment? But anybody who can observe and watch and listen can see the growth from the very start of our reading to the end of our reading that you made in just that short period of time. Okay. So I can be able to take you from where you are right now, where you were at the beginning, and as you grow within the theater and I begin to watch you grow, I don't need you to take a test to see if you're improving in your English language or if you're improving in your understanding or critical thinking or discussion or in writing, because it's all built in here, you see?
Definitely.
And that's, again, what makes creating these families so special. I don't want to thank
Tracy,
you for
I want to say,
demonstrating. Divya?
yeah, I wanted to say something. I've realized today when we were reading the story that previously, whenever, if I'm like an avid reader, so I read a lot of books, but I think that when I'm reading with the same, like my mind, all the characters have the same voices. So because it's my voice when I'm reading. But when we are reading in a reader's theater over here, I feel that, like I might be reading the sentence with a different kind of expression in my head, but then we are getting, when we have see, like today there were 8 speakers, so everybody is reading with their own interpretation of whatever the dialogue is, or even if it's a narration. So I think that also, because if we come to realize it today, I don't know why I observed it a little more, that it's giving a fresh perspective on the story. I think that is another thing that the readers theater is doing for you, which is great, that the way other people are reading it out is also the way they are grasping it. So probably something which is very momentous for me would be like okay for them, depending on from where they're coming in the world and wherever they are in life. So I think that is also very exciting way of looking at the readers theater. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, Divya. And you know, actually, if we have time, we're going to take 8 totally different people who have not read and let them read it. And then we'll be able to actually hear that even with different people reading the same story, that
So that Yeah,
And
even
that's
last time when we did it, it makes it, if you notice, it makes a lot of difference. You know, if a child is reading, so they have kind of an awe and wonder in their voices. But when like an older person is reading, they have like, okay, I know I've been there, I've done that. So I have a lot of experience behind me. So I think we read differently. Yeah, I just wanted to add that bit.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Selkin, Sheriff Selkin, hi. Not sure
Yeah,
if I
ma'am.
pronounced your names right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, no, ma'am. It's okay. I'm Shiru Salikin. I'm from Bangladesh. I am a teacher. I teach English in Canton Public School and College Rangpur. It's one of the biggest and very renowned school in Rangpur. I teach English here. Ma'am, I'm pretty happy to be here with all of you today. I can see a lot of members here from different countries. I'm pretty happy, ma'am. I'm very happy. I didn't take part in the speeches, or reading the dialogues. Um, Actually, ma'am, I was just getting I was just understanding the fact what is going to be happened here, and so far as I become involved in it, I feel so much pleasure that you are doing a good job here.
Well, our hope is that as you become to love and enjoy what we're doing here, that you will become licensed to do it yourself with others. Okay, so our goal here is just to introduce you and say, do you like it? If you like it, do you want to do it? Let's license you to be able to start your own groups, because this is a huge group, huge group.
Yeah, ma'am.
In a
Yeah, ma'am.
family,
Exactly, you're right.
yeah, in a family, in an MRT family, you really only want about 10, 12 at the most. So you can have as many families as you want. Okay,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
every family will be different, but you really only want 10
Yeah,
or
sure,
12,
ma'am.
and we want you to grow them out. And that way, as you grow that network out, we, the directors, can network them all together so that they're also sharing this way and that. That's what I
Yeah,
hope.
you're right, ma'am.
Mm. That's great. That's great. Anybody else want to say something about the experience that they had listening, or what you thought about this whole thing? Basil, you're looking thoughtful.
Yes, thank you very much for giving me opportunity to speak. I must say here, last time I had experience, and it's a great way of learning, and it's building the confidence. And I just came right just little before, so I didn't hear, but it's a great way of learning by reading different ways. So thanks for the initiative. Yes.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I'm glad that you came. And actually we're just learning a little bit about the experience of the reading, but we do go into now thinking a little bit more about the story itself, and what the foundation of that story was. But I don't know if other people would like to just talk about the experience first. Maishawa?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening. Good evening from here. Good evening, ma'am.
Hello.
So I'm also actually I was a little bit later. I could hear a little bit, only a little bit about the conversation was going on when I had joined this class. But anyway, I was quite happy to see all the people involving in conversation in a very perfect manner, and it has given us a good vibration. I hope in the days to come, hours to come, we will also be able to join in this wonderful program and knowing better. Ma'am, actually, I am teaching in Kathmandu, the Army School, one of the reputed schools in Kathmandu Valley. Anyway, this sorts of vibration has given me a positive vibes. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your
Oh,
generosity.
thank you. If you're not talking, if you just unmute so that we can hear who is talking. And I know somewhere it says you can raise a hand or a finger or something like that if you want to say something. That helps me a little bit as well because, oh my goodness, we have 28 people here. Wow, I think you guys all broke a record. Please make sure to put in the chat box your name, your email address, and the country you come from so we can put you on the list. Okay. And I'm gonna see. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to Josana, if you can mute for now so that I can see if there's anybody else that wants to say something here. We have so many new people, so please, if you'd like to share.
Oh.
Okay. All right. So I guess then let's go back and think about the script itself. Let me go back to sharing my screen. And the story about Rumpelstiltskin, I guess you know, as I was rereading this, because this is a story that I've read all along as a child, I guess my question was, Rumpelstiltskin ends up sort of getting angry and disappearing because of that anger. He got so angry that he stomped through the floor and have you ever gotten so angry about something that you just want to, break something or hit something? Or, has something ever made you that angry? Nobody has ever become so angry? Or are you too shy to talk about the fact that you've gotten?
I have witnessed other people getting angry like this, but I don't think I get there ever. But I've seen it. I've witnessed it a lot.
You what? You've seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it. I haven't, I don't ever get there. I think I pride myself on the fact that I'm very patient. As a teacher also, we have to be. But I've seen it ample number of times where children lose it, very young children. So that is very surprising. Where do they get so much anger? When they would start stomping and probably screaming at each other and ready to bite each other's heads off kind of anger. Yeah, so I've seen it a lot.
Yeah, when children have it, it's usually called a temper tantrum. A temper tantrum. Because why? Why are they having a temper tantrum? What's causing that emotion in them? What do you think? Jasmine, you work with little kids. What do you think?
Yes, of course. I think that most of the times everybody has some kind of anger, but I think that in that situation we need to practice self-control because it's very important for all of us, not only for children but also for adults. If we have self-controls, we will better manage our emotion. So I think every time if we have stuff, that of kind of situation, we need to find the way to resolve the problem. That's my opinion. Because I already told that I'm working with the children. Every day I have such many situations with them, but the talking is helping, is helping. I need to ask them, why are you doing that? Can we solve together the problem? So every time we need to find the problem resolved together. If the person is alone, there is so bad. If you have somebody to help you to manage your anger, that is better situation. That's from me.
Nakshi?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I saw you on mute. I thought maybe you had a response here. You wanted to say something.
About the story itself, I think it teaches not to be greedy and not to make false promises. And what else?
There's a
Yeah,
lot
sure.
there. Not to be
I
greedy,
think
not to make. Who made a false promise? I mean, where did this really all stem from? You know, what was the spark that started the whole story in the first place? You have to have a spark to get things going. And what was that?
this extreme situation that King put her. So it came from greed, and then she was compelled to make all these promises, which she couldn't. It might be like if we have something really near and dear to us, we shouldn't be like gambling with it. Like she promised him that, and later on he had to, she had to give her child.
Gambling was something that you love. So I like that idea. But who originally gambled with something that
What was his name again? Rumbles. That's a hard name to pronounce.
Rumpelstiltskin.
Yes.
I think the Millers need to impress the king was the cause for the entire thing.
Was the cause?
Divya, you're saying what was the cause?
I'm saying the Millers need to impress the king. So he just built up this fake story and the entire thing followed up because of that. It was the Miller's need that he wanted to impress the king. So he spun a web, actually like he also spun a tale that, you know, my daughter can spin golden thread. So it was that started from there. The foundation was laid there.
Yeah? What do you all think? Is that where it really all started from? Was the Miller?
Yes, it was.
Yep. And so it kind of began with actually somebody want to make an impression on someone else, to make them look what? To make them look better or different, rather than just to be able to be who she was. A beautiful girl. You know, you have a beautiful daughter and all that. Wouldn't that have been enough? And her abilities and her intelligence to have been able to have satisfied the Miller. What other people want to comment about this? Okay, one thing you need to understand is that a Reader's Theater, this Matrix Reader's Theater, is interactive. In other words, if you want to become a member of the Matrix Readers Theater, it doesn't mean that you can sit and just listen to one or two people. Okay, if we've got 28 people in here, then we should have 28 different ideas and concepts about what you're seeing and thinking. It's extremely important. It's how we get to learn you. It's how we get to begin to share our ideas and our thoughts. It's also, I think, how we begin to see how similar we really are in so many ways, and through this as a means to be able to really discuss some in-depth questions about you can take exactly what we're talking about, and that is, do people often feel they must put on a show to make an influence instead of feeling it's okay to be who they are, that type of thing? What is it like to make a promise to someone without even knowing who or what that person is? Who in the end of the whole story was really the loser that did the most to try to help, but is looked at as being the bad person? There's all kinds of questions that this one little Reader's Theater can bring out, but you all need to start being able to bring in your interpretations to it, because I'm just here to listen to you all now.
I also felt that in the story, where especially when children are reading the story, like the miller's daughter had promised something which she did not want to do in the end. She did not want to stick to her words. So, but in the end, they still show that it's a happy ending. But that is not reality. You have to face up to the consequences of your deeds. So somewhere I feel again, as I told you before, that fairy tales have that warmth. They just want to have a happy ending. But in reality, if you promise things, you should, because it's like, oh, you can get away with it even if you break a promise, just because you don't have to part with, you don't have to do something so difficult that you have to part with your own firstborn child. So it's allowed. So somehow the good thing happened, but actually he was wronged. So though by the end of it, we would see Rumpelstiltskin as a villain in the story, but he's not. He did something and he asked for something in a bargain. So that is okay. Why would he didn't know her. Why should he do her a favor? So that was just like a bargain. In the end, he was cheated. So, but when a child is reading or when anybody is reading, we think of him because his demand we think is wrong. So I think all those that needs to be looked into. I didn't feel it right. I felt he was cheated. He was right to get angry. Probably not the way by stomping, but otherwise, yes, he should have been angry.
Well, yeah, as Jasmine says, you talk it out and you see what ended up. You said it was sort of a happy ending, but in fact, was it? Was it a happy ending for all? In fact, he did come, he did help, he did ask to receive something for the help he offered, and she did promise that. She broke her word. He got so angry that he ends up disappearing into the world rather than having somebody else who says, wait a minute, can we talk this out? Is there another way? It's just, Jasmine, how do you think if these were two kids, one that had made a promise, one that had done that promise, broke the promise, this one's angry. How would you help them talk that out?
Well, I need to answer the question. Well, in my life, I have two children. One is 5 years old and the son is 12 years old. Day after day, we have many problems. If I have a problem with them, it is really necessary to talk with them with different angles. I will talk with my daughter, which is 5 years old, in her language. But 12 years old is something else. You need to prepare them because of different, how to say, they think different. Son is different, is thinking the other way, and the daughter is thinking the other way. So I need to find a solution how to manage with that. Probably I will make some contract which will be the best for both them, for both the children, not only for one. We will do the talking. We will prepare the both of them, and we will find a way which is better for the both. That's my opinion. Not only for one child. We need to have a collaboration. If we don't have a collaboration, we will not do nothing. Many times in my kindergarten, in my group, because I'm working with different ages from 3 till 6 years old, we have many problems every day. So the best way is to find something that will be fine for all of them, not only for one. That's my opinion.
And knowing that group, that mixture in that group makes it a little easier, doesn't it? Something else. This is a lot of conversation. It's good conversation. Somebody else want to join in with their ideas, please?
Okay, I would like to add something. Uh, uh, Mostly, we just talk about the management of the emotions, like anger management. Usually, we say. What I feel, I just disagree with this term of managing the anger. What I feel is anger is an effect. So already we have been discussing about this also. We have to talk means we have to find out the cause behind that. Why the people or anything, anyone is angry? What is the cause behind the emotion? Emotion is an effect. So we need to find out the cause behind that. So instead of asking, uh, don't get angry or don't follow these emotions, we could ask, why are you angry? And we could try to resolve that, so that in the coming future, so because of the same reason, the person would not get angry again.
In
Thank
other
you.
words, there's a reason for that behavior. And if you try to just ignore the reason, perhaps that doesn't help solve the emotion. Is that basically what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else?
Well, I just wanted to tell something. It is very fine every time to resolve the problem, not to let it go. We need to resolve the problem because every child has some kind of we call trauma or tantrum. And if we don't resolve that, the child will go home, for example, from kindergarten with that problem, and he will be maybe angry at home. So my opinion is always we need to talk. If we talking, it will be better for all of us, except especially for a child.
Well, I think that you're both agreeing. You need to talk. You need to not to say, you know, I'm sorry. You know, there's no reason for you to be upset. There was certainly a reason for Rumpelstiltskin to be upset. Of course there was. And for us to just say, oh, everybody lived happily ever after. No, they didn't. You know, um, and we don't look at and I don't think I ever really did until I started to turn these things this way for our theater group into he had a right to be angry, and nobody listened to him, and nobody cared, and instead when he started to get upset, some what did he have, you know, and who knew that he'd helped. So if a child in that situation got angry, the child necessarily wouldn't be wrong. You need to listen to why they're angry. And the child who 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 made a promise and didn't keep it needs to listen to that too. Because I think that there are times when all of us are in both situations. Sometimes we've made a promise and we can't keep it, and it angers people, you know, and you talk that through, you discuss it, you work it out, you come up with a compromise in a collaborative way, which is really what we need to do to solve any of the problems, whether they're teeny or they're global, is through collaboration, compromise, and understanding. Right? What else?
I think it's very important to open the lines of communication, as you often read that now the social networking is there. As you just said, that if we are here and if we are not voicing our thoughts, then just being a spectator is like cheating yourself, I feel. If I am thinking something and if I'm not expressing it, I'm cheating myself, because this is such a beautiful platform. We are reading a story which we have read so many times, but it's just about the perspective, it's just about how we are looking at it, and then not expressing it and not sharing your opinion or responding to somebody else's opinion. It's like kind of, I think everybody who's there should at least try to get a word in. Okay, I agree, I don't agree, but say something, get a voice. because communication is so much of anger happens because of lack of communication. As Jasmine also said, if children are able to talk, okay, if they come to school, we don't need to ask them, oh, why are you upset? If they can come to us and tell us, yes, ma'am, this happened at home and I'm feeling a little frustrated. So half the battle is won there and then.
And
I think that yes.
you also mentioned a word which I just want to repeat, and that is so true. Reader's theater allows you voice in so many ways. Here we read a script and who knows what we're going to start to discuss or where it's going to go, but it gives you the voice and the place to be able to share those ideas and thoughts in a safe place where we can, talk and collaboratively agree. And then you can take that voice out further. But also, it allows you then, as you grow with Reader's Theater, to give voice to something that's going on in your life or in your community or in your world by putting it into a script or a story of Reader's Theater that we then bring in here and are able to read out and share in the world, you see. Because you can disagree with something or you want to share something. For example, in America, right now, I'm sure you all know that there's this big movement about Black Lives Matter. And I have my niece, who is as dear as my own daughter, is half Nigerian. So she's, as we call here in my family, slightly toasted. Okay, so she has the Black issue and the white issue. And because she's like my daughter, I never understood what she was going through as being seen Black in the United States until we sat down and we started talking about this from all that was developing here. And I was really astonished, uneducated, unknowledgeable about what she was going through, and she's my family. So I'm saying to her and to others, script out what this is like. Put it into a story that we can then interactively read, give different voice to because of the different readers in it, and bring it in and be able to discuss it, because I bet you that it's not only here in the US or that it's about color discrimination, because I know Grace is going through language discrimination. We go through religious discrimination. We go through all of those things. And this is a platform for us to discuss, because here it doesn't matter. Okay? That's very important to understand, is here we are all equally together as one to learn and share together. So as Divya says, if you're not sharing with us, how can we learn from you? Okay. How do we know what you're thinking? Because you're not participating. That's really important. And it is 10 o'clock, which means we really won't have time to reread this again. And there were so many. I'm going to offer a suggestion, and let's see what you all think. There's a lot in this story. There's a lot of people who didn't get a chance to read. We have another open session on Monday at the same time, which is 9 o'clock. Would you like to come back to this script and have the opportunity for other people to read it and then talk about it? If you think you'd like to do that, can you just sort of give me a thumbs up? And if you'd rather have a different script, then I can do that too. Just let me know what you think. Okay, well, some people aren't gonna tell me what they think, but I think we got enough. Okay, so I'll make a deal with you. So big show, let's make a deal. I'll bring this script back up, but if you come into Monday's session, you have to be willing and ready to both read and share your ideas. Okay?